years ago, when the United Kingdom took on the COP26 presidency, the world was heading toward 2.6 degrees Celsius of global warming at a catastrophic rate. While global leaders have committed to come back with more ambitious this year in Egypt, the Russian-Ukraine war is not on the equation.
I think that
Ken O'Flaherty, the UK's COP26 regional ambassador to Asia Pacific and South Asia, assesses the impact of the war on climate pledges.
From your view, how the war situation in Ukraine affect the target of reducing global emissions and keep up with the global commitment on climate change?
Well, of course, Russia's violation of international law and its invasion of Ukraine has caused massive suffering for the Ukrainian people and indeed worldwide, given the global consequences on energy and on food markets. It's essential that we keep political attention on the climate crisis, and that definitely is something which we as COP26 presidency are trying to ensure. But there are also less negative impacts on the global transition. The very high levels of oil and gas prices mean that governments across the world, notably in Europe with the UK, France, Germany, Italy, are accelerating their transition to solar and wind power because, first of all, it's cheaper. It's even cheaper now given the very high oil and gas prices, but it also provides energy security. You are not depending on one country which can suddenly decide to stop sending supplies. You're generating clean, cheap energy within your own country.
On the other hand, there were discussions about considering nuclear power plant and also consider get back to use coal because they probably, in terms of security of their powers and so on and so forth. How would you see this effect to go those ways?
Well, the severity and suddenness of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, of course, took many partners internationally by surprise. We did not expect such abhorrent behavior, but it has meant, of course, that in the short term, governments have needed to ensure continuity of energy supply. But the very limited number of reactivations of coal plants is still far exceeded by the closure of coal. So the overall trajectory of coal use, even in Europe, is down, even this year. And we would expect that to continue in the years ahead. On nuclear, each country will need to make its own decisions. In the UK, we do believe that nuclear power makes sense for us as a country. We are investing in new nuclear power. It has been part of our energy mix for several decades.
Lastly, Thailand and many ASEAN countries also push forward their pledge on reduction of global emissions. How do you see perhaps challenges for ASEAN countries and particularly on Thailand to meet the target, move forward to reach the promises?
Well, clearly investment in solar and in wind will require investment from overseas and from within Thailand. I think that there's a lot we can do as the international community to support that process. The UK is now a dialogue partner of ASEAN, so we are working very closely with governments across this region to help that process. We're aware that there is lots of interest within ASEAN on exports of renewable energy across the region, and that will require major investments in grids across the region. It will require smart grids to deal with the intermittency of supply, and these are all areas where the UK and our partners hopefully have expertise which can be helping Thailand.
During his ASEAN trip, Ambassador Ken O'Flaherty concluded that economic imperatives play a key role in adapting to climate change, and the countries that move faster will grow faster. Charanthorn Yothasamut, Thai PBS World